Tyson, ranked #1 in the world by the WBC, #3 by the WBA, #5 by the IBF, and awaiting a shot at the world title. And hopes to have it within a couple of months. And across the way, Roberto Medina. And we are set for the introductions to the bout. Let's go to Ed Darryl.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next bout is scheduled for 10 rounds, and it's in the lightweight division. The referee is Double S, Steve Smoger. And now, boxing fans, introducing the principals. First, in the blue corner, wearing the red trunks with the black trim. He weighed in at an even 139 pounds. This gentleman has 14 wins, 5 losses, 1 draw, with 10 knockouts. All the way from St. Petersburg, Florida. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome aboard Roberto Medina. And his opponent in the red corner, wearing the blue trunks with the white trim. He weighed in at an even 138 pounds. Professionally, he has 39 wins, 4 losses with 19 knockouts. He is currently ranked #1 by the WBC, #3 by the WBA, and #5 by the IBF. From the nation's capital of Washington, D.C., ladies and gentlemen, here is Darryl Terrible T. Tyson.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're giving you instructions at the weigh-in. I want you to obey my commands at all times, respect the bell at all times, and above all, protect yourself at all times. Touch them up, guys. God bless. Let's go.
Scheduled for 10, Darryl Tyson has won his last 14 bouts in a row. This is his 3rd fight of 1992.
Darryl, Robbie, let's go.
And we're set. Roberto Medina. Maybe remember him a few years back fighting Meldrick Taylor in a fight on ABC, and was recognized as an escaped convict when he fought that fight. He originally went under the name of John Garcia, changed his name to Roberto Medina. He's 29 years old and has spent 17 of those 29 years in prison. But he says he's got his life back together and doing what he loves the most, and that is box. He's coming off an 8-round loss to the highly ranked Frankie Mitchell, who was stopped in the 8th round on March the 10th. Medina with early pressure on Darryl Tyson.
One thing about Medina, with those 17 years in incarceration, he couldn't have been burning the candle at both ends, that's for sure, Sam. Early to bed and early to rise.
He did say in his last 4 years, after he went back in after being recognized in that fight against Taylor, that he worked out every day. Did not box. They did not have boxing in the prison in Colorado. Good combination by Tyson. But Medina did stay in good shape.
You know, if you want to rank fighters by pride and ability and the fact that they don't get discouraged, I'd have to rank Buddy McGirt #1 in the world and Darryl Tyson #2. I mean, both patiently waited for title shots. Tyson is still waiting for another title shot, but they stay in condition and they don't get discouraged and they keep busy. That's the key.
Darryl Tyson's 3rd bout this year. Won a 10-round decision in Charleston, South Carolina, February 28th. His last fight against Eduardo Yaquez. A very unimpressive performance. Darryl really wasn't into it. Sharp jab.
I really think Tyson fights as hard as he has to fight. Sam, when he puts it in high gear, he's a very formidable fighter.
Good right hand by Tyson. Medina shaking, trying to collect himself. He's coming back on.
Another right hand by Tyson. Seems to have found a home for that right hand. Drops his left hand.
For those of you who do not know Darryl Tyson, he is not any relation to Mike Tyson. He's been fighting professionally since 19 1982. Almost 10 years as a pro. For the last 8 years, he has maintained that lightweight weight. There's Dave Gorman in his corner.
Step up here and make your jab with the hard steel jab. And then with that right hand, put the hook behind it, upstairs or down. Don't just throw the single right hand. Or double up on the right hand and then come downstairs. Ain't nothing changed. Keep the same program. With the jab, everything off the jab, okay? Don't let it reach. You ain't got to reach for nothing. Right there in front of you. Just give them a little move. Right hand, right there.
Darryl Tyson, with the #1 ranking by the WBC, was willing to step aside to allow Miguel Gonzalez, the #2 ranked lightweight, to take on Jorge Paez, with Tyson getting the winner. But there's been some difficulties making that Gonzalez-Paez bout. So now there may be a Gonzalez-Tyson bout going to first bids. We'll see how that develops. This is round 2, scheduled for 10.
Tyson is a lot more effective when you get the opponent on the inside, with the fight inside. He throws beautiful short combinations inside.
Seems to be very crisp with that jab.
He's throwing the jab from his hip. Makes it a lot more difficult for the opponent to block it. You say, why don't all fighters do that? Because they can be countered with a right hand to the chin. There's that. Anytime he gets close, he can throw those beautiful combinations.
Got caught with a left hand by Medina and a right hand by Medina. Good work by Roberto Medina on the inside. And Tyson with a 4-punch combination.
The fact that Medina was successful inside may have been the worst thing that could have happened to him, because that's when Tyson is at his best.
Medina's been fighting professionally since 1984. Fought most of his fights in Florida. Good jabs by Tyson.
And hook off the jab.
Medina said since the Frankie Mitchell fight, he's been working on more movement and better hand speed, but he's not giving Tyson much movement. He's right in front of him. Good jabs by Darryl Tyson. And those jabs are getting through. Medina answers.
You see Tyson loading up on that right hand, trying to set Medina up. Now Medina is boxing as a southpaw. We're seeing a lot more of that lately, Sam. Switching back and forth.
Good work. That finish with a left hook to the body by Tyson. End of round 2.
What happens when KLIF's weekend workout host Larry North meets Westway's Joe Greed?
Help! This muscle maniac won't let me off till I reduce!
Well, while the dude with the toot has been working his buns off, I've been doing some reducing myself.
Yes, all remaining 91 troopers are reduced $3,000. That's right, $3,000 off factory list.
Westway Zoo. Westway, it's a zoo.
Bring your kids to the Dome early on Saturday, June 13th for the JCPenney Youth Clinic. It starts at 3 p.m. before that day's Astros-Giants game. Kids can learn the basics on fielding, hitting, and pitching from Astros players and coaches right on the Astrodome field. And the first 3,000 kids 14 and under through the gates get their own sports bottle from JCPenney. Make June 13th a family day. The clinic is free with that day's game ticket. Buy tickets now at the Dome box office, Ticketmaster Ticket Centers, or call for tickets at 629-3700.
Round three scheduled for 10. Darryl Tyson in the blue trunks, Roberto Medina in the red. How'd you score the first two?
I gave the first 2 rounds to Tyson, and there's a lot of redness under the left eye of Roberto Medina from those right hands of Tyson. Or maybe it's from the jabs of Tyson.
Tyson's been real good with that jab. Jab has been very quick by Tyson and able to get through the gloves of Medina. A little bit quicker than Roberto Medina is Darryl Tyson.
And Medina was trying to press Darryl Tyson.
Medina, as we mentioned, fought Meldrick Taylor in 1985. He's fought Terrence Ali in 87, and then recently Frankie Mitchell. And he rates Meldrick Taylor as the best he's faced.
Well, that was the 140-pound Meldrick Taylor. 135-pound Meldrick Taylor.
As producer John Gallagher just mentioned to us, and we'll pass along, that was the pre-Chavez Meldrick Taylor. That redness is really building up, that puffiness under the left eye of Medina. It's getting bigger. It looks like it might pop open at any time.
Any time now.
Good combination by Tyson. Tyson very effective with his punches. He looks very sharp in his bout and very focused.
And compared to his last fight, Sam, night and day.
Yes.
You're right, Sam. He is very, very focused. There's a good right hand.
And a nice combination. It staggers Medina. He tries to collect himself. He went back to the ropes to keep himself up. Tyson all over him. Steve Smoger taking a close look. There is a standing 8 count in New Jersey. You can give a fighter a standing 8. Good combinations by Tyson.
And we, as you mentioned, Sam, he is very, very focused in this fight. Very focused.
Swelling under the left eye of Medina is growing. The right hand scores again for Tyson at the end of the 3rd round. Medina is okay after being rocked and wobbled.
Hold still. Hey, I think he's got a broken jaw.
Uh-oh. They think he may have a broken jaw.
Doc.
You heard trainer Jim McLaughlin
got a broken jaw.
call the doctor in.
Just hold still, Roberto. Oh, yeah, he's got a broken jaw. Okay. Just hold still. Okay. Yeah. That's it. It's broken.
This fight may be stopped right here. It looks like this fight is over. Doctors may be stopping this one.
Okay.
That's it.
Fight's over. Fight's
This
over.
fight has been stopped on the advice of the doctor. And apparently Roberto Medina suffered a broken jaw from a lot of those punches by Darryl Tyson.
Well, they can't tell if it's broken or not, Sam. It certainly is injured. And with the way Tyson was fighting, I don't think it would have been much longer, regardless of the injury to the jaw. Looked much, much better than we saw him in his last time out.
Called the paramedics over into the corner of Roberto Medina as you Tyson going back into his corner, posing nicely, looking good. Excellent performance in a short amount of time for Darryl Tyson. In 3 rounds, he looked really sharp. That could have done it, Gil. What do you think?
But again, Sam, you know, there was a tremendous right hand, but you don't know if his jaw is broke or whether it became unhinged. They have to wait for the X-rays, but apparently is showing every signs of having a broken jaw. Any one of those right hands, there it is again, could have been the punch that really injured Medina's, should I say mandible? Is that? Is that an acceptable word in boxing?
You can make it acceptable. You can set the ground rules.
Now you're trying to be a poet. Acceptable mandibles.
Doctors continue to check out Roberto Medina. He's on the stool in his corner. Being examined. Excellent performance by #1 ranked Darryl Tyson as he awaits that title shot that we mentioned, with Pernell Whitaker vacating the lightweight division. It's open season for the contenders, and Darryl Tyson has a chance to step right in. He looks very good, but he's 31 years old, and he admits he doesn't have much time left. Well, he's got to do it real soon.
He's a kid that's dedicated to the sport. He stays in condition, and it shows every time out. He's really not that old, Sam. He hasn't taken beatings in fights.
Let's get the official announcement from Ed Darrian.
Ladies and gentlemen, Principal Roberto Medina unable to continue. Therefore, S referee Steve Smoger stops this bout at the end of the 3rd round, and a winner by a TKO, Terrible T, Darryl Tyson.
Darryl Tyson has won 15 in a row. As he continues his march toward a title shot, it is his 40th win of his career, his 20th knockout, hitting his 40-4. His last loss was back in 1988. Darryl Tyson stops Roberto Medina. It goes 3 rounds. We'll be back. Gil will be talking with Darryl Tyson in just a moment. These are virtually perfect right hands thrown and landed by Darryl Tyson. There's one. Here comes another. Right on the jaw. Medina staggered back, went to the ropes to keep him up, and there he is, bandaged. A suspected broken jaw ends the fight. Roberto Medina will leave, and Darryl Tyson has another victory to his credit. Gil is in the ring with Darryl Tyson. Let's go to Gil right now.
Hey, congratulations, Darryl. You must really smell that title fight. To me, you looked a lot better than you did in the previous fight.
Yeah, I've been trying to work very hard on my right hand because they get on me about not throwing my right hand. I have a good right hand behind a good left jab. But, you know, I haven't been throwing my right hand that much. But soon when this title shot come up, I'm going to win. I'm going to be victorious.
Okay, Dave, how do you stand on that title shot right now? I know that originally you had agreed to step aside and allow Paez to fight for the title, but now there seems to be some problems, and maybe Darryl's next fight may be for the title. What is it?
Definitely. We're tired of waiting. Paez hasn't lived up to his agreement. Nobody concerned with that fight they were trying to put in Mexico with Paez and Gonzalez has delivered their part of the agreement. So, as far as I'm concerned, it's legally null and void. And I'm going to go to negotiating to fight Gonzalez, and as soon as possible, hopefully in July or August.
Well, have you notified the alphabet soup that this is the course you're going to take?
Yes, well, they well know it, and I talked to Gonzalez, his promoter, today, and he's interested in going ahead and putting Gonzalez and Tyson together. So I don't see any reason why it can't be done. It's a matter of where the fight's going to end up, or if we're forced to purse bids, then you know how that goes. We don't know, but hopefully Madison Square Garden can help me work it out, and we can put the fight in the States. That's what I've been hopes of.
Well, you have a good man with Bobby Goodman. Darryl, you heard your manager. It looks like the next fight's going to be for the title. Are you going to become the champion?
Oh, most definitely. I'm just waiting on that shot. I've been waiting 6 years, Gil. Now that it's hit, I have to win. This is a must for me, and I will win. And I have a great team here with me. They all been in my corner. They all stick with me. And I have a good man, like you say, Dave Gorman, as well as Bobby Goodman. I know they're going to put it together for me, and we will bring that title back here.
Well, congratulations again. I have a lot of confidence. Predict you're going to be the next lightweight champion of the world. Now let's go back to Sam Rosen at ringside.
Thanks, Gil. Darryl Tyson ranked #1 by the WBC. Miguel Gonzalez of Mexico is ranked #2. They may be fighting in a couple of months for the vacant WBC lightweight championship. Coming up next.